Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another day here in Bronie's World. And at Bronie's desk today, I have another of my amazing friends from the USA, and I absolutely adore this lady. I adore her husband too, so I have no qualms if he decided he wanted to sneak in with her because they are a dynamic duo, and they help. I can ring them up as long as they're awake and not in the middle of a hurricane or tornado or something. And they help me out, particularly with my friends in the USA who are struggling with things. Anyway, they are there for me and I adore them. Now, Dr. Laura Dennison is a naturopathic doctor, but she's got all these other things after her name as well. And she's been, I don't go. She goes all over the place with her presentations and stuff. But let's get to the chase. Today, and I've had a few people ask me, and this is a big topic and question that goes on, and people are fighting their doctors. I've actually had a couple of people this last couple of weeks telling me what their cholesterol levels are, and their doctors, their specialists want to bring it down, but their GPs, thankfully one of them has a GP who says, no, you're at a good level. And I know our measurements for cholesterol are different to yours in the US, Dr. Laura. Ours go from 0 or 1 to 10. So 4.6, 5 is obviously halfway. So to me personally, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think 4.6 is you don't want it any lower than that, just by what I've heard you say in the past and what I've heard Dr. Wallach say in the past. So I thought this would be a good topic to start with, because I know over in the US and Canada, your measurements are done differently. Yours have a couple of zeros after them. So I had to try and do the conversion. And that's how I worked out that, well, obviously 5's middle ground. So anyway, so with no further ado, I've asked Dr. Laura to talk about cholesterol, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because like everything, there are good things about cholesterol and there can be bad things about it as well. So that's why I thought this subject is something that is on a lot of people's minds, because far too many are wanting their cholesterol and being put on medications that are doing more harm than good to bring their cholesterol way down. I've actually heard one of these ladies that actually contacted me, her specialist wants her to get down to 0 cholesterol. Now I think, okay, do you want to be dead? I just couldn't believe it. Where are these specialists getting this idea that you can have no cholesterol? I don't understand. So with no further ado, Dr. Laura, I'm handing it over to you.
Well, and Bronie, I think that the topic is amazing because there is so much miscommunication out there. We are so misled whenever it comes to cholesterol. They're wanting to blame. When you think about cholesterol, what's your first thought? Okay. There is such a bad rap for cholesterol. And so immediately you think that it's bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my cholesterol numbers are this, but you never think about what is needed for the body and why we need good cholesterol and why we need cholesterol. And so what I'll do is I'm not going to talk about numbers just because I didn't realize a different conversion. And so, because here's the thing is, and I love that Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glenn, I mean, he's got a lot of different messages out there on YouTube about heart disease and cholesterol and the myths that goes around cholesterol. That we won't talk about numbers. We'll just talk about what cholesterol does, why we need it, what's been missaid, and why we actually have heart disease. Because here's the thing is cholesterol has became a word, okay, that it's bad for us, even though our bodies naturally make cholesterol. And they say that it causes the plaque in the arteries. But what it does is it's actually the oxidative stress, the free radicals, the toxins that you're ingesting, especially from your food, causes a disruption in the arteries, okay? But cholesterol is a waxy substance that tries to go in and help those cells, okay? Help it to become a little bit slicker. And so when a person does when the surgeons, take out or the lab work or whatever it is on that clogged artery, yes, there is cholesterol there, but the cholesterol was going there to help it, okay? It was going to help the artery. And so, 27 million people die of heart disease, and we've been talking about cholesterol over the last 50 years about how it's not good for us, and we've been trying to regulate it with statin drugs over the past 50 years. So why is it still a problem? Because we're not addressing why we have high cholesterol or why the plaque in the arteries, because it's not really a cholesterol problem. It is an oxidative stress problem. Okay. So
Wow.
interesting. I pulled out some of my old books. Okay. This is a great book. It's called Fast That Heal, Fast That Kill. Okay. You see all my little, this was part of my naturopathic doctorate, one of my books. Okay. It's by Udo Erasmus, Erasmus. Okay. And what's crazy is I was looking at the copyright because I wanted to know how old of a book, okay, that's still saying the same thing that Dr. Wallach is saying, that Dr. Glidden is saying, and what most naturopathic doctors are saying, that cholesterol is not bad. Okay. And it was 1986. Okay. So, this is an older book, but it's still saying the same thing. Okay. You need to stay away from certain things that causes oxidative stress. And, when we came out with the margarine, and okay, so here's where the misinformation comes, okay, is when you go through the grocery store, it says cholesterol free, cholesterol free. I mean, margarine, plant seed oils, all these things are supposed to help us with our cholesterol. They're taking away the healthy fats and doing non-fat, okay? And those non-fats actually cause oxidative stress, like soybean oil. You'll see soybean in every packaged good, and then you'll see reduces cholesterol or cholesterol free. Those are all things that are being misleading us to understand that cholesterol is actually bad for us. So I'm going to tell you why. Um, you know, uh, and the scare tactics come in, and that's what you were talking about the gentleman, and he's worried about his cholesterol. His MD is saying you're fine, but his cardiologist is saying a different scare
Mm.
tactic. Okay. So now you have medical professionals that's not even agreeing on what the number should be. Okay. So you get doctors, you got, and this is all funded. I mean, when you talk about cholesterol, the propaganda is coming from the doctors, the pharmaceutical companies, and it's coming from the laboratories. Okay. They are making a lot of money. Okay. Off of heart disease whenever it's considered a cholesterol problem. Okay. And then you get the food companies. Okay. The food companies, you guys, I just love Dr. Wallach in how he says, eat a stick of butter a day. Now, I've never done that, okay, because I don't know, I don't want that much fat. But, when we came over, okay, because a little history is we came over with the Stay Natural brand, and it's been 9 years ago. And in February, it'll be 9 years. And, I was not so aware of, the butter and the ghee and the statin drugs, especially. I've researched it and it was part of my studies, and I knew about, margarine and plant oils and different things like that. But the statin drugs, I didn't realize the damage it was doing for the brain and making necessary hormones and there's so much things that cholesterol does. And so the advertising of these products hurts us. It puts it out there that that cholesterol is bad, but actually cholesterol is so needed and our bodies make it, okay? And then we get healthy fats and we get to make more good cholesterol. So the fact is most people can't control their cholesterol and cardiovascular health by nutrition, and that is a fact. cholesterol problem is all what you eat. Now, with longevity, we have that 10 bad food list. You guys, if you have a cholesterol problem, that's where you need to start, is on that 10 bad foods, because I'm telling you, the oils is what causes oxidative stress. Sugar, too much sugar. Okay, sugar's okay, in, small amounts, but it does cause a reaction in the body. If you get too much, then it gets stored as fat. Okay, then you got a different host of different problems, and it causes oxidative stress. Oxidative stress and free radicals floating through the bloodstream is what actually causes the plaque in the arteries. Okay, and so you noticed I did not say anything about cholesterol through that. The plaque in the arteries comes from damage from a free radical, and the free radicals come from what we ingest. And so, to simplify that, okay, right when you pop the top off of an oil, okay, like say olive oil, for instance, or yeah, we'll just say olive oil. Once oxygen hits the oil, it causes oxidative response, okay? Then you're going to ingest it, okay, because you're going to put it in your salad dressing, because that's normally what olive oil is used for. And then all of a sudden now you have ingested an oxidative molecule that your body has to fight hard with antioxidants to get rid of. Okay. So if your body's not fighting these free radicals, then it's going to be causing plaque on the arteries. Okay. It's going to be causing that cardiovascular problem. And so it is a complete nutritional problem. Okay. Now here's some functions that cholesterol does. Okay. 95% of, 85% of cholesterol is made in the liver. Okay. If you've been a part of my talks, you know how important the liver is. And in traditional Chinese medicine, that's where they start, is at the liver. Okay. Whether it's heart disease, whether it's hormones, whether it's joint pain, whether it's inflammation, they clear out that liver. Okay. Because the liver is the most important organ when it comes to detoxification, when it comes to making cholesterol, okay, which is 85% is made in the liver, okay? So that means that the steroidal hormones, your hormones, is made from cholesterol. And so whenever you're thinking about that, okay, if you have hormonal problems like estrogen, I mean, and mainly, the sexual performance hormones, your testosterone, your estrogen, your progesterone. Then you get into other hormones like cortisol, your stress hormone. Okay. All of these are factored in by your cholesterol. Okay. And they travel with these fats into the bloodstream, and they travel to the cells to actually nourish them. Okay. With the necessary hormones that your body needs to make. So you have that balancing act. Okay. The liver is not going to put in the bloodstream too many if you're making the necessary hormones and you're making the necessary cholesterol. And so it is an important part of the body and the bodily function. Without cholesterol, you're not making the necessary hormones. Okay, so stress, anxiety, PMS, for women, not just feeling good, having that feeling, because when you have a low testosterone, you sort of have that feeling of being lost. Okay. And just you wake up and you're just complacent. You just don't feel like uh you know oh, today's another day. Okay. It really has to do with moods. Okay. So that's just one thing that cholesterol does. Another thing that cholesterol does is it is responsible for your membrane fluidity. Okay, this is whenever it gets a little bit more scientific, because uh, cholesterol, especially when you got your EFAs, your essential fatty acids, which we talk about these, quite a bit. The molecules are small enough that the cells can attract that, and it reduces inflammation. So your cell needs necessary molecules to function. And so this waxy substance, which is cholesterol, okay, helps, it sort of is like builds a wall around the cell, and then it lets your body be able to collect and get certain nutrients, okay? And so that's another big thing that it does. It's the membrane fluidity, and it helps your cells, that free radical oxidation, okay? It helps the cells not to be stressed, but it also helps the cells to attract. Okay, and so that fluidity is very important. And then that's whenever your body doesn't have, plaque on the arteries, because it's getting rid of the different toxins, not letting the cells adhere to this free radical response. Another thing is adrenals. So like people's energy is based off of good cholesterol. And so needing good cholesterol can also affect your adrenals. That's also where your stress hormone is being released, cortisol. And so all of that plays into cholesterol. Another thing that some people don't know, but it also converts your vitamin D. It helps you to have a vitamin D synthesis. Okay. So it synthesizes the vitamin D molecule. And so nutrient. And so, which is very important. Vitamin D is a sunshine vitamin that we know, but it also regulates calcium and phosphorus, and it all comes from cholesterol. Okay, so I think about and here's the sad thing is my mom even takes a statin. Okay, and I am so upset about it. And she loves me, she's proud of me, but her doctor her cardiologist has her taking it, and her cholesterol, her total cholesterol is about 150. Okay, which I don't know the conversion, Bronwyn, but that is very low, because in the United States, in Canada, they want you to be under 200. They lowered it down to 180, but 200. It used to be at 220. Okay, then they lowered it in the 80s to 200, and then in the 90s down to 180. Okay, they kept lowering the numbers, but you guys, heart disease is still one of the number one killing diseases that there is. Okay, cholesterol doesn't cause a disease. Okay, and so when I think about my mom, and I think about her bones, and I think about her osteoporosis, and I think about, is a statin drug that's lowering the cholesterol not letting her have her calcium and phosphorus and these bone building, you know, mechanisms in the body. I mean, that could be one of the things that it's causing. Another thing that cholesterol is responsible for is the bile acids. Okay, so your liver, here comes back the liver, which I love to talk about. Okay, but it creates those bile acids. Okay, so then it's trying to get rid of toxins. Okay, so it's also responsible for making the bile acids in the liver. And so that's another crucial part that cholesterol plays, that's so important. Then, of course, the last one, well, and of course, cholesterol, skin is another necessary thing. And so, hydration, because, between the fat and the fats in the blood, okay, which is cholesterol, okay, and water and hydration, and you do the hydration sticks, so you know all about the hydration. Okay, well, a lower cholesterol is going to keep you dehydrated. It's going to make your skin flaky. It's going to, make you have to use lotions. I have not put lotions on. I do skincare for my face, but I haven't used lotions in 20 years. Okay, when you have the balance of your healthy fats and you have the balance of hydration, your water. Okay, and we all know that another thing. Thank you, Kurt. Another thing that is important is being able to balance those out. Okay, so that we know that dehydration. You also have to have nutrients, which is super important. But cholesterol plays a big factor into that. But here's where I think that it's, and I'm so thankful for. Well, here in the United States, we just are electing some people that are trying to make America healthy again. Okay, because we have so many toxins in our country, okay, that's been banned in several other countries, but they're bringing all this to the forefront. And I am so excited because I really believe the statin drugs and what it's doing to the brain, because you guys, your brain is 80% cholesterol. Okay, so back to my mom, and she's strong and she's healthy, and but I just want to get her off that one drug. Okay, that's all, the statin drug. I want to get her off of that because she's 81 and she's in, things, she's repeating things a little bit, and different things like that. But the brain health, and when you start lowering the cholesterol to numbers that are way below the average, okay, then that's whenever the brain starts to suffer. And there's lots of different scientific studies that's now being done on Alzheimer's and dementia whenever it comes to cholesterol. And here's one of them that I wanted to read. The brain has the highest cholesterol content of any other organ in the body. The nerve cells, where it protects the cells, it facilitates quicker transmission of the electrical impulses, your thoughts, and your movements. And there, in the University of California, Davis, the Alzheimer's disease research concluded that higher levels of LDL, which LDL is just a measurement, okay, and it's your low density protein, okay, that is how your body tries to get rid of fat, okay. So when you have higher levels of the LDL, which is your bad cholesterol, the bad fats, which usually comes from your trans fats like your margarine, your seed oils, fried food, okay, that is going to be your trans fats that your body is going to have an elevated level of bad fats, versus your HDL, okay, which is your I call it the happy protein, okay, lipid, is because it needs to be high, because in that body means that your body has a better response of getting rid of the bad, okay, detoxifying it through the body. But it said that it concluded that higher levels of LDL and lower levels of HDL was related to amyloid plaques in the brain. The amyloid plaques in the brain is the cause of dementia and is the cause of Alzheimer's. And so it is something that is so related to brain health that is, is crucial. And so there's so many good things for cholesterol. I mean, I want to talk more about good than the bad and the ugly. The bad is you're doing it to yourself, okay? If you have high cholesterol, which, like I said, the measurements of your cholesterol doesn't bother me as much as the clogged arteries, okay? So if you're getting clogged arteries, then you got to do an inventory of what you're doing on a daily basis, what you're ingesting, okay? And you guys, fried foods is the worst thing that you could put in your body. And especially whenever it comes to plant oils, the canola oil, the cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, any plant oil, okay, that you ingest. Now, we know with Dr. Wallach, he says no oils, okay? There's controversy over avocado oil because it's not necessarily a plant, okay? Or even olive oil, which is another controversial, but it still causes oxidative response, and the level of heat temperature is not good whenever it comes to those oils, okay, that are not plant oils. Plant oils came and you were able to, they were hydrogenated, they were, and here's what goes into being hydrogenated, okay? They take the seed, okay, and then they degrade it, they take out all the minerals, they take out all the vitamins, they degum it, okay, so they have to get all this gumminess out of it. There's so much things that goes into it to make it a toxin substance, because now it can be heated at higher temperatures and in your body, but it's right when you ingest it, it's going to go into the bloodstream, it's going to be oxidative stress, it's going to become that free radical that we're always trying to fight against. So diet wise, I mean, cholesterol is related to diet, and it's related to these oils, and it's related to oxidative stress. Now, other things cause oxidative stress, in your environment, in breathing in toxins, can cause oxidative stress. Chemicals on your, like in your makeup, in your, hair supply, in your water, any of these chemicals can also cause an oxidative stress. We're blaming it on the oils, okay, but you can also get oxidative stress from different things. Yes, Lori Brazel said prescription drugs. Yes, it is a chemical, okay? So what do we have to do to that? Okay, we have to make sure that we're feeding our bodies with super antioxidants, okay? I love, and I think that you're going to be getting it fairly soon, the Rise and the Restore, that ORIC score. No, you're not? Okay, I thought it was on its way. Okay. Okay, well, okay. I thought I saw somewhere that you guys are supposed to be getting it. Are you guys getting it, Rowan?
No, well, Michelle said it'll be a long time, but it's got more to do with our government and the red
Okay,
tape
okay.
and the
Yeah, because
labeling
yeah, and see, some of the Say Natural products can't get there either,
for the
because
same
of
reasons.
same reason. And so, but you guys, the 2.5 is beautiful. The ORIC score on that. ORIC score is how the nutrients causes and gets rid of the free radicals. Okay, that oxidative um, response score is what an ORIC score is. Okay, so the higher the score, the more when you take it in the body, you're going to be getting rid of these toxic substances. Okay, getting rid of these things that causes the body oxidative stress. And so that is such an important product. So that BTT is number one. Okay, it's the number one thing that you could put in your body to have a high ORIC score to get rid of these toxic substances that, because we're not going to live in a bubble. What we can control is what we ingest. Okay, and
Mhm.
whenever we talk about the bad fats is the fried food, and it creates a huge part. But antioxidants are huge. Cell Shield RTQ is a great uh, selenium. Selenium is a great, source of an antioxidant. It also, has a level of copper in it, which is very necessary also for the heart, cardiovascular issues. Um, Another thing, stay away from the bad foods. I mean, somebody said, golly, it looks like you're pointing your finger and like saying, no, no, no. And we're saying, no, yes, okay, we are a little bit. But at the same time, there's a reason why each one of those foods are on there. And the most important reason is all of those food create inflammation, and inflammation is the start of every disease. Okay. And when we talk about cardiovascular, is an inflammation in the body, and it's where your body's not able to get rid of these free radicals, and it becomes oxidative stress, and it causes the plaque in the arteries, and especially whenever it comes to the brain health too. Eating healthy fats is also. I loved how um, there's been so much uh, emphasis on butter, clarified ghee, beef tallow, cooking with those, lard, going back to, healthy fats that the body can process. These are all crucial whenever it comes to having healthy fats, avocados, nuts, uh, you know, um, that's another, walnuts happens to be one of the best nuts that you can eat whenever it comes to healthy fats. These are all important. Now, I always lean to my blood supportive products, and I think you have the hope um, in Australia. Okay, good.
We do.
This is one of that and the Z radical, okay, are the two top ones whenever it comes to liver health. And like I said, and why I'm focusing, I know, because we're talking about cardiovascular, which is the heart, okay, and plaque in the arteries and cholesterol. But that liver has to be a functioning and on top of its game to make sure all the fats get processed, all the glucose, all the, it talks to the pancreas, and it talks about blood sugar, and it gets rid of the biles and the acids and the detoxification. But here's one thing that the liver does that is so beautiful, is it converts useful proteins and useful carbohydrates to the certain nutrients that are going to get processed through the body. So it helps to convert nutrients. And so when it comes to cholesterol, that's another important factor, is that liver and making the necessary cholesterol to make the hormones and to make these and convert these nutrients. The vitamin D, like I said, the synthesis of that is just even pretty big. So the Hope is a fantastic product. That's a product you can take daily. Another product that really works on detoxification, and that's just one job of the liver, is to detox. The other things is, storing and making necessary hormones, and helping facilitate healthy cholesterol. But herbal rainforest. So do you have the herbal rainforest? That's another
We do.
product. Okay, that's a beautiful product, and that also helps with
Tastes
liver
yummy too.
function. Yeah, it's great. It's got the minerals, which, and you guys, here's another thing about that's beautiful about minerals is, we're talking about cholesterol, but minerals helps to get rid of those heavy metals, toxins, environmental toxins that causes oxidative stress. Minerals acts like a chelation, in the blood, and so minerals are just so important whenever it comes to that. And so, but the blood supporting products. So it sounds like you got hope. That can be taken daily. Herbal rainforest can be taken daily. Z radical can be taken daily.
Yes,
And
we have the free radical as well.
perfect. And I always like how Ben, and I know you have him on your show quite a bit. You know, it all comes down to providing a good environment for your cells to live. Okay. When we're talking about the blood and we're talking about the cells, and yes, the TMR is a great product. Thank you, Lori. But you have to, because we could do all these wonderful things, but then you go out and you go to the restaurant and you go ahead and get the French fries and the hamburger with a bun, and you do all these things. You're setting yourself back. Okay, you have
Mm.
to provide your cells a great place to live, and so you always have to think about, when I am setting down, I mean, actually look at your food and say, is this going to help my body and feed it? Or is this going to hurt it? Okay. And you get to make that choice. We all get to make that choice. And um, and I just like how he says that because oxygen to adequate hydration, which is, you're the expert on that, Bronwyn, with the Benny U sticks, which are beautiful. And healthy blood, you got to have, those things, for your body to function. And so the 9 essential nutrients, it was interesting because my book that I studied, I went back to it. Okay. I hadn't got it out in a long time, but even back then, um, Uda was talking about 50 essential nutrients. Okay. Well, Dr. Wallach talks about 90. So he was missing, 30 of those essential nutrients. And a lot of them was in the amino acids, but, you know, people like Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glenn and that have done their research, it's going to come to light, and I think it's just going to really be a beautiful thing, especially because these toxins that's in our food supply. You know, there's another book that I didn't. It's called Metabolical, okay, and it talks about the food industry and how every year they have a tasteologist chemist come in, and he wants to make sure that the next food, like all the big food companies like Tyson and General Mills, they all hire someone to come in as a tasteologist because they need you to be addicted to the food, and they need
Mm.
because you're going to come back and buy it. So they're always looking for the next flavor, and they're always looking for the next toxin, the next chemical that's actually going to cause you to be addicted to that product. They're not doing it to make us healthy. You know, the grocery store and the big and in pharma just wants you on, the statin drugs. And the thing is the bad out of the good, bad, and the ugly. The bad rap is cholesterol gets a bad rap, and it has nothing to do with cholesterol. And cholesterol is so needed in the body. So for your gentleman, that is, I would do all these things first before I just, started, because here's the great thing is he could change his diet. He could start eating healthier. He could focus on liver health. He could focus on supporting healthy blood, getting the right essential fatty acids. He could focus on all these things and see his cholesterol just come down. But it is going to be up to him to decide if that's, something that he can give up. Because, like I said, they get you addicted to the different foods out there that it's hard for people to give up, just like gluten. I mean, I know you guys are all on here, you're probably gluten free, and and it is one of the hard things to do. I mean, you have to look and you have to also look at the gluten free because some of the gluten-free is still made from soybean oil, or they use the wrong oils in to make that gluten-free bread. And so, these are all things that you have to be aware of, and just be your your strongest advocate. And so I don't worry about cholesterol. I'm like Dr. Wallach as far as the numbers. As long as you're going and you're doing a self inventory of what you're putting in your body, okay? Because if you're causing that oxidative stress, then that's the changes that you got to make. And and when you go into supplementation, especially with our 90 essential nutrients, it's pretty incredible. And then the other is the blood supportive products. I think that's a home run to be able to focus on those areas.
Wow. That's yeah, because like you're right. The bad and the ugly is the misinformation that's out there about cholesterol, and it's got a bad rap, but it's so important to our health in every area. There's a few there that you mentioned today that I didn't realize that it actually helps with those as well. But there you go. So Laurie has a question. You can unmute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Laura. I know some stuff, but that was a lot more good information. I'm so grateful. And one thing Doc always says is the brain's like 80 or whatever percent cholesterol. And what's really important to me to have a healthy brain. So that's the thing that really means the most to me. But it's come to light yesterday that I have a peripheral artery problem in my left arm, which I know was caused by me smoking for so many years, but EMF radiation in my left hand, the phone all the time. And so like, does that mean that I have plaque in that artery? I have a pain in the arm too. And we're looking at how to treat it. First of all, what like products would you recommend? And like, does that mean there's a plaque deposit in there, or
Okay,
what?
so they can test you for plaque. Okay, and so getting proper blood flow is your most important thing. And so, like, do you have any tingling with your fingers or anything like that? Okay.
Yeah, they're fine, but if I hold the phone, my computer and my phone don't talk, and we do a lot of texting, so that has to be in my hand. And after about 20 minutes, my fingers start going numb.
Okay, so you need proper blood flow, which is also going to help to clean the blood. Okay, so the hope, the stay balanced, all the super antioxidants like the selenium, and I'm just saying all the products that I know are in the United States because I know Lori's here too. The Ultimate Daily Classic. The Ultimate Daily Classic also works as a rotor rooter. Okay, and this is all past the 90 essential nutrients. Okay, so extra niacin also will increase that blood flow. And I'm just throwing out some products because you might have some in your cabinet. Okay, Cardio Beats is another great circulatory product. Ultimate Cardio Sticks also is a great product to get that blood flow. Okay,
What about state cardio?
State Cardio is a very good cardiovascular product. It's not necessarily for blood flow,
Okay.
but it's great cardiovascular. The Super Greens also, the Pro Cardio FX, any of those would work really good. But as far as, because here's the thing with when you get the peripheral artery, or you have the numbiness. Okay, the ending, and here comes cholesterol again. Okay, it sits on the neurons at the end of the membrane. Okay, and so any nerve damage can be a lack of cholesterol too.
Okay.
B vitamins also is central nervous system, so that also if you're having any nerve pain, like any neuropathy or other blood flow areas, the B vitamins comes in and plays a big part of that. So like the de-stress, which is a great product, will help with those too. But the first ones that I would work with is any ones that increase blood flow. So stay balanced, cardio beats, extra niacin, selenium, those are all going to be super antioxidants. Now, just because you smoked for so long, okay, Yes, there could have been damage there, but your veins and arteries are different, okay? And you're talking about an artery, okay? Veins typically, veins don't get clogged, okay? Veins lose their elasticity, and so that's where different blood clots and different things can happen. Varicose veins. That is all still a circulatory problem, and so
Okay.
so doing the 90 essential nutrients and then adding some good blood flow would really work well. So.
Okay. Does Z radical help?
Oh, absolutely. Z
Yeah.
radical, well, it cleans the blood. So Z radical and hope are like cousins, but they're, one is an herbal, strictly an herbal, which is the hope. And then the other one is with the fucoid Z, the fucoidin. And but it also has milk thistle, and it also has turmeric, and so that helps with the inflammation, but is so healthy for the blood, and especially the blood cells. And so those are two great products. I always say you got the 90 essential nutrients, then you got the Z radical, and then you got the hope. I mean, you got those that are really helping clean the blood, because I'm really it's so important to keep the blood clean, because when you do that, then all your organs work properly. And so the Z radical and hope are the best products for that.
Great. That is
And we have all those products that you mentioned, bar one.
The Stay Balanced.
No, we have Stay Balanced. I'm pretty sure we have Stay Balanced.
Good. Yes, wonderful. Okay.
I know there is one of them that you have that we don't have. I'm pretty sure we've got Stay Balanced. I meant to have a double check of all that before we came on. But...
No worries.
No worries.
But yeah, so does anyone else have any? Thank you for that, Laurie. I appreciate your
Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you, Bronie. I've been really wanting to meet you. I just love you, and your thing with the scriptures yesterday, real spiritual Sunday. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. I do that every Sunday. But thank you for that. I know you're welcome to come any Tuesday. My Tuesday, your Monday. So, does anyone else have any questions for Dr. Laura? Okay, Tony does, but she can't talk. Both books Dr. Laura mentioned are available on Amazon. Okay, you're saying that they are, Tony. So she's obviously looked them up. Awesome. Grant always has a question. So Karen, okay. No, we don't have balance. Oh, okay. I thought we did. I know there's one we don't. Of all of the ones you have. You've always talked about Stay Clear as also a good one for cleaning.
Stay Clear is like a natural antibiotic, okay? And because it's got the golden seal root, so it does more than just skin, okay? It helps to give you good bacteria, and so it helps to get rid of bad bacteria and good bacteria. So it's even just good for to have in your medicine chest. I mean, and when you need to go grab an antibiotic, like you feel like you got a bacterial infection or something going on, the Stay Clear is really wonderful for that. Now, of course, it is wonderful whenever it comes to
it was the de-stress. I knew that. Sorry, just Karen was reminding me. It was the de-stress you mentioned that we don't have. Like you're going through and go, oh yes, we got.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and it's always hard for me because you guys, I do Let's Talk products, and so I love talking about our products, and so it's always hard for me to remember which ones you guys have and which ones you don't.
Well, listen, with all the thousands of products that we have, I do not blame you, because I can't remember all the ones we have either. I have to go and look, particularly as I do help a lot of people in the US as well. So I've got to stop and think, and sometimes I will recommend something to them that I know we have and forget they've actually got something that's just that little bit better for that particular issue. And I did have on that. I did have a lady from the US ask me, and I think I sent you this question the other day, but you've been so busy you probably may not have seen it. Okay, got to find it. Beg my pardon. About putting some particular oil in the eye for floaters.
Oh, okay, so I did look that up. Okay, so the hexadine makes it where it's more pure. Okay, so that's not a chemical. I am not a fan of doing the castor oil like that in the eyes. I like to do it more internally, okay, with like the occutive, which the occutive is a beautiful product. The extra calcium, magnesium, the beyond osteo, really looking at the cranial aspect as well from the 12 cranial nerves. Super antioxidant, cell shield RTQ. So those would be what I would do. Now you can always put colloidal silver in the eye when there's like an infection or if you're needing something like that. So that using the hexadone castor oil, I am not familiar with success of that. If that is an answer to your question, I've never put a
I
client on
have,
it, I've never used it, and so it's hard for me to say yes. But it is something that can be put in the eye. I mean, it's not because whenever it does the hexadone, it's actually where it can be put in any orifice in the body.
yeah, I've actually never heard of it, to be honest. Karen has a question. You can unmute, Karen. What is the best way to have eat less?
Okay, so eat less is a dual product. Okay, if you're wanting to lose weight, you're gonna take it, 15 to 30 minutes before you eat with a full glass of water. If you're wanting it for more of the digestive enzymes and colon health, so like if a person has irritable bowel or Crohn's disease or something that chronic constipation or anything that has to do with proper elimination, the Eat Less is a beautiful product for that. Jeanette Anderson, which I know she doesn't mind me telling, but she came up and she did a presentation in Oklahoma for us on her products. And when you travel, sometimes that's whenever the constipation comes in. And I said,
Yeah.
Jeanette, take this tonight. You're going to be beautiful tomorrow. She comes up to me and she hugs me and she says, we got to get this in Australia because it worked that fast. Okay. It doesn't create constipation or diarrhea. It scrubs. And so even people, like I had a lady that, she was a missionary and she came over from, she was over in Peru and when she got back, she was just sickly. And, I said, well, let's go ahead and treat you for parasites. And she actually she had a tapeworm and it actually expelled a tapeworm that was about 4 to 5 inches long. And so it was something very drastic, but it scrubs the colon. Okay. So it gets rid of what I call like the spackling. People hold on to a lot of stuff, in their colon. And this actually helps to get things moving, but it also helps to scrub it.
Okay, so bearing that in mind, with the Eat Less, how many would you recommend people take if they're really badly constipated or they feel they might have a parasite like a tapeworm or something?
Okay, I always tell people to do the recommended dose first, okay, because we could always double it or triple it because you can do that with any herbal supplement. You can increase it 4 times, but I always like to try to achieve it so it'd be 3 times a day, but they need to make sure they're drinking plenty of water, okay, to get it going. And if that doesn't work for 2 days, then we increase the dose to 6 a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at lunch, 2 at night. It doesn't have to be around a meal. I mean, you're not going to get sick or anything like that. It's just if you're wanting to have the appetite suppressant and not be hungry, you can do it before your meal and you're going to eat less. Now, I will say with intermittent fasting, which I know a lot of us do that, the Eat Less really helps on that meal that you're skipping. Okay. And so it really helps you to not, I mean, you just feel satisfied.
Very good. Now, because Tony can't speak, she's put another question in the thing. Is there an essential oil that can be put on bee stings? Friend got attacked by a bee on her property 3 days ago.
Yes. Okay. So and I love how Brenda Wright says, if when you get an oil, it'll be the right oil. So sometimes you can just have a certain amount of essential oils in your house and you can try to grab one and it's going to work. Okay. Because essential oils just work that way. If I was to order one, the Comfort Touch is the one that really helps with, bee stings. It helps with mosquito bites. And it just really soothes it. But at the same time, and kids can use the Comfort Touch too. So that's also an essential oil that I would have in your medicine chest. Tea tree also would help because it's, a natural antibiotic. It has some soothing ability to that. But Comfort Touch is going to be that cooling action.
Okay, very good. Grant has a question. Grant always has a question. He's my if no one else has got a question, Grant has it. Go ahead, Grant.
G'day, Dr. Laura. Great to hear your little talk. I agree with everything you say, but what can we say to clients or potential clients to help them to understand that cholesterol is actually a good thing, not a bad thing? Because that's where I struggle at.
Well, then you need to have like the third party edification to let them know. Okay. And so share Dr. Glidden, he's on YouTube and he has a very good video that's 10 to 13 minutes long that talks about why we need cholesterol and how the media and the pharmaceuticals and all of them have used it against us and manipulated us in, thinking that cholesterol is bad for us. We need cholesterol. He sort of lays it out. That would be the first thing.
Dr. Glidden's fantastic. Yeah.
It's fantastic. And you can get that, you can, find some, documentation. The books that I shared tonight, this book right here, you can also get this where you'll have it with you. So you could actually show them and say, hey, this is why cholesterol is good for us.
I generally find that people are so convinced that cholesterol is bad that they won't even spend 2 minutes or 30 seconds to consider an alternative, which annoys the crap out of me.
I know it does me too. And they won't eat eggs. They won't eat eggs.
No, they won't even consider it. Like it's just like wow.
And that's the reason why. And so bringing in some documentation and just say, I understand because I was right there. I always try to relate it to them, try to be relatable. And I said, I was right there, but now they're doing studies that our brains are made of 80% cholesterol. Okay. So when they start lowering it, and that's about when the statin drugs started coming out, is whenever we started having the dementia and the Alzheimer's and the different things like that is about the same time. And
what is really frustrating from my point of view is I can lay that out, but they still go, oh, my doctor said like, I know.
Well, okay. So what you can also talk about, because sometimes people, because like I said, my mom is on a statin drug. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's very hurtful for me.
Because, so is my wife.
Okay.
So is my wife.
And so what I have to do is I have to talk about diet and nutrition in a way that is more safe. Okay. Like my mom's not going to give up, her biscuits. And I mean, she's a baker and, and so I'm never going to change my mom. Okay. And so she's not, even though I pray and wish that, she would, but she still takes my products. Okay. So it's really crazy, because she believes in me. So she takes my Stay Young and which helps her along the way. But we just have to love on them and come from a place of emotion as far as, being helpful and just so they know that we care and that we're not trying to sell them something. Because a lot of times when we come out with the facts and we come out with proof, then they feel like we're automatically trying to sell them something instead of coming from a place of love, of, hey, I know that your doctor's saying this, but what if we could just get off of all the prescriptions? What if we change some things and do some things. You can always go back to the prescription. You know, if it doesn't lower, you know, let's just try it this one time. And you can always go back to the prescription, but it is something that's diet, exercise, and supplementation. And so it's hard, especially when we know the truth. And, you know, and like with your wife, I would just say, just please listen to this one video. It's only 13 minutes because I love you.
Yeah, but that doesn't work. My understanding is that the statin drugs are so effective that pretty well nothing works if you take them. Like it's just a full stop at the end of the sentence.
Okay, so statin drugs also causes a lot of harm. Okay,
That's right.
and
That's
so
right. Yeah.
and so the side effects of statin drugs is exactly what I would show for people. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
say, okay, your cholesterol is being lowered,
Okay.
okay, but you know, it does all these different things, you know, having good cholesterol. But what is a statin drug doing? Let's try to do it with diet, exercise, and supplementation, and you won't have those side effects.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do some research on the side effects of statin drugs.
Yes, because there's
Yeah,
several.
one of them's Alzheimer's.
I know, but there's probably a lot more than that. So,
Like muscle weakness, joint pain.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it destroys healthy gut bacteria, so then it causes digestive issues. There's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of things that statin drugs does.
that's a good
Which
idea.
then
I'll do
cause
some research on that.
constipation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a top idea. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, so do we we're getting close to the hour. We kind of have. Are there any other questions before we close this out today? Oh, is statin drugs known by another name?
No, that's the classification. There's lots of them, like Lipitor. You know, that's they have different medical names, but if you look under statin drugs, that's what it is called, as a statin drug.
Okay, so yeah, because like that's what people look for, is that word.
And there's lots of new names now, and so because pharmaceutical, they're figuring.
They're always changing the name, and it's just, and I swear it's to fool people into, because you know, I know different people who say to me, "Oh no, I'm not on any statin drugs." You know, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
And then when they you look at what they're taking, you okay, yeah, that's a statin drug. That's, you know, it's an ingredient. Is what you're saying.
Well, and I would even say this, whenever it comes to a person that is not being receptive, is just say, you know, did your doctor talk to you about, you know, supplementation or diet, nutrition? You know, just because, you know, it's not just one drug that can fix it. You know, it's a lifestyle change. And you know, because if it's so bad, then they should have talked to you about changing things in your lifestyle. And I guarantee you, they didn't talk to you about diet, exercise, supplementation, because they don't. They just put you on a statin drug, and you're expected to be on it forever.
I bet you Kevin just put all that up there, didn't you, Kevin?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I know, Tony put it up there. Now, Kevin, Mr. Grundy.
Just popped up to say thank you, really. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about that liver, and you and I, we talk from the same hip there, and you've got to get that liver sorted out first, which of course, just above the liver is, of course, the digestion, and above that is the way we think. And so unless we can change the way we think, then not much downstream actually can happen. So yeah, fully supported there. And yeah, just thank you so much. There's a really great CD put out by Dr. Wallach's crew, The Dangers of Statins, and you can get that from Karen, or you can get that directly from our website at ygitools.com. I think it is, ygitools94life.com. I'll put that up if anybody's interested. But just ask Karen here, Karen Chilman. She sends all the CDs out in Australia. I do all the CDs and books and all that in New Zealand. But yeah, a very good one. I use it heavily. The Dangers of Statin. It's a really good documentary done by Dr. Wallach and the lawyer who fought all the court cases and the history behind the statin drugs and everything else. It's a great, great listen if you haven't already done so.
Awesome. I actually have not. So Kevin, you just told me something that I did not know.
I didn't know about that one either.
Thank you,
Great
I know
Kevin.
I have
CD.
a lot of
If you
CDs.
haven't, you should
Yeah.
really listen to it. It's a very good one. As I said,
Yes.
it's the background, and yeah, bit of a dirty background, but I won't spoil the story. But yeah, it's a great one.
And
As I
what's
said,
it actually called?
the danger of statin drugs, isn't it, Carol?
The dangers of statins.
Yes, dangers of statins.
Perfect. When did he come out with that? I'm curious. Well, I'll find out. I don't want to.
Years ago.
Yeah, a lot years
ago.
ago.
Wow. Okay. So I just bypassed that one then.
He'll have it. No, he'll have it himself on his site too, Dr. Waller.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And and that third party edification, because we could talk to people till we're blue in the face, and it doesn't matter how smart we are and what we know. That third party tool is so powerful, and just
It's
sharing
powerful.
that CD is going to be incredible, because he's going to have all the reasons why.
Yeah, yes, very much so. And it's always good to get support. You coming through doing talks supports me down here. It's the same cause, and it's just nice having somebody else who just goes on about the liver.
I know, yay. It's awesome
seems
because
like-
it gets forgotten. It's one of the largest organs and it gets forgotten. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah, and I like the Star Natural range because it covers that's its prime goal. It covers the liver and then some. It covers the liver and then some. It covers the liver and then some. It's just I just love the formula. I'm a hook to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Because
you,
Dr.
Kevin.
Laura, it's springtime over here, and we're at the end of it. And I started out at the spring season here, and I've been had a running theme of spring cleaning our bodies, and I had Dr. Lewis come and explain the liver detox. So it's great to come to the end. I'll have to make sure that Pharmacist Ben does something on the liver next week, hey, or something to finish off the spring cleaning of our bodies, because we spring clean a house, so why not spring clean our bodies?
Absolutely.
So it's been a really amazing talk today, and I always love having you, because you just, but like Ben, you give us that more beef, that insight that we were completely unaware. Well, me, Kevin, not so much. Unaware of. Like, I learn something new every time, and that's the importance of these sessions with you guys, and why I do my best to bring you all down under in any way, shape or form I can. So with that, with no further ado, because we've got to the time, ask you all really nicely to stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. And when you are looking after that liver and keeping the cholesterol, looking at your cholesterol in a good way, not necessarily to zero, because that's just stupid. Well, I shouldn't say stupid, but just not right. Then you too, my friends, will be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. God bless you all. And I'll catch you again tomorrow here in Bronie's World. And thank you, Dr. Laura, for coming and giving us your valuable time. And give our love to Stan as well.
Thank you, Dr. Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Love you
Laura and
guys.
Bronie. Thank you.